Hey guys, good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to be talking about one of the biggest mistakes new traders make. Yesterday we covered four things that you need to do to become a consistent trader, and I posted a video yesterday too about it's not so much about profits, also not so much about consistency. It's about confidence. Most people that lack confidence, even if they're consistent short term, end up losing money. So we're going to talk about the mistakes people are making and how to trade in this market environment, knowing that's one of the biggest mistakes people make. So I'll get right into it. Most people are making the mistake of being biased. And I'm going to walk you over on what happened yesterday and how I had to change every single thing that I was doing to basically align myself with the market. Now, every single person, we have opinion, we have thoughts, we have emotions. When we start trading, they play a big role. They can act as an advantage, and sometimes they can act as bias, causing us to lose money, even when we clearly see that things are going against us. This is why I tell people to make a plan. If you don't make a plan, your bias is stronger because you don't have a path that's more logical or robotic that you set before you got the bias. So, I'll give you an example. Once you're in a trade, naturally, most people are going to look at positive things that can make you more money when you're in the trade. That's why I say, like, people think the biggest mistake is not knowing what your stop is, not knowing technical analysis. Most people, and I would say majority of people, understand the basic technical analysis, how to set stops, how to get in, and on your entry, how to take profits. But once emotions kick in, it doesn't work. And that's why I tell that paper trading is not that effective. I know a lot of people promote paper trading. I think the only one thing paper trading is good at is essentially understanding your brokerage and understanding the operation side of the business. It doesn't help you at all because the emotions are taken away. I'm going to talk about how bias can impact, and I'll give you my example. So I've been bearish essentially throughout. I'd say about 2-3 months. We played some calls, but majority I'm bearish. Yesterday, Trump came in, and the news was we're not going to play hardball with China. I'm not going to fire Powell. He should lower interest rate, but if he doesn't, it's the end of the day. This is bullish. I'm in a bearish position, but I can see that this is bullish. So at that point, I have nothing else to do but to take off my puts, right, and take a loss on them, which is what I did. I took a 47% loss right at open on my trade. That's one of the hardest things to do because knowing how the market's been for the last 2 months, when we get good news, the next day there's followed by a bad news. When we get bad news, it gets followed by good news. So you're not really playing against technical analysis or flow. You're playing yourself against the environment you're in. So one of the hardest thing to do right now is being in any kind of overnight position. And if you're in an overnight position, you need to know exactly when you're going to get out because overnight you're going to be down 40 to 50% if something major happens, and in the morning your plan goes out the window, which is what happened today. Was the goal was come in, cut my position. Now I'm in two position right now. I'll go over them with you too. So I have puts for Palantir. I bought more in the money, and I'm going to cut them if we break the all-time high for Palantir. And then I'm in calls in Tesla. The Tesla calls are close dated. It's because Tesla's been running, even though they had really bad earnings. I'm seeing flow all the way to, let me check, all the way to 400, 500. One thing with Tesla is the flow is never reliable. And the flow is never reliable because there's always someone buying calls on Tesla. So that's where you have to be extremely, extremely careful. Now, when we talk about bias, we talk about, your own opinions, your own attachment with the stock, with your profits, with the money. One of the ways you can avoid that is make a plan. I'm going to walk you over something that we covered yesterday as well, but I want to talk more about things other than having a plan. Give me 1 second. We're going to screen share here and go over TradingView for a second. All right. So as you guys can see, I'm gonna go with this is, by the way, this is how I set up my screen. If you're brand new, I would not set up my screen like that. I would only focus on one. But since we're doing this, I'm gonna walk you guys over how it looks like for me. So on my top left corner, and I always have it set like this, it never changes. This is my SPX. I'm watching how the index is doing. So what you guys notice here today is a lot of consolidation and a lot of chop. We either break up here or down here. What I have is Tesla. And the reason why I like Tesla is, usually they would fade this entire move, but it got bought back, meaning people are buying this. And even though SPX is not at all-time high, or not all-time high, is not at high of day, Tesla is sitting at high of day, which tells me that Tesla has relative strength over anything else. So if we stay bullish, this thing likely breaks up, right? So that's what I'm looking at. So this is why I'm in calls. The next thing I have here is I'm going to take the Bollinger Band. I'm going to do videos one day on Bollinger Band too, probably be on Instagram. So the second thing I want to talk about is this here. So this is also looking very strong. I'm not down a lot on Palantir. I'm down about like 7% on these. My stop is right here. So I'm probably gonna lose about 12 to 13% if I cut it today. If it doesn't work, we'll see how that goes. The second thing, not the second thing, but one thing that I'm always watching is VIX. I'll show you something. Hold on. So VIX here is showing volatility. So this is a 5-minute chart. And what the 5-minute chart's telling me is that we're at nowhere. This here is what you've gone pretty much all day, up, down, up, down. It's trading premium. So if you're in 0-day calls or puts, you're probably losing value. For Palantir, I'm long dated like May 15th. For Tesla, I'm next week. Position size, same on both. I'm not trying to straddle here. I think Tesla goes even if the indexes don't. Palantir is high up. It needs to lose 100 though. I prematurely entered this because I saw this drop. I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to give back all the gains like we have in the past. Anyways, so this is usually how my setup is. So now coming on to plan. One thing that's going to really help you not stay biased is pick the stock that you're watching, and I would say one. And I'm telling you right now, I took 2 trades today, but for the last month and a half, it's been just one. So pick the stock that you're watching, figure out what's your thesis on it before you get in. Thesis meaning, are you bullish, bearish, why, technical, fundamental, whatever. You got to watch the A+ set of video that I posted yesterday. Third is ask yourself what your stop is separately. Like when you do your risk reward, you're going to have a stop, but I mean in stop, like when would you exit the trade, right? It doesn't have to be technical. Like for instance, if the news came about China tariffs and all other things, regardless of the market going up or down, I would have exited the trade. So when would you exit this trade? So for me, Palantir, it's high of the day. If I'm not looking at the premium, I'm looking at if we break all-time high, I'm going to exit the trade, meaning this has a lot more strength. So that's essentially what a plan looks like in few words. So this is what I look for. So this is more micro. The second thing I focus on is market environment. I'm going to show you something cool here. I look for market environment. So is there any kind of sector rotation happening? What kind of market are we in? We are in news cycle where they can rotate different information and the market's going to move with it. Like, I don't know if you guys know that saying that we're not going to play hardball with China isn't, none of this is materially impactful, but any new things that Trump is going to say or their administration is going to say is going to move the market. But this because this market is driven by algos. They have buy and sell algos that are just buying, selling, buying, selling. You can see that throughout the day. We're in that new cycle. So that makes trading very hard. it's not sorry trading, swing trading very hard, and I'm mostly a swing trader. Now I gotta switch styles, so this isn't the market environment where you want to be going heavy. I'm doing the 3,000 3K challenge where I'm showing people how to grow your account. I thought this was the best time to do it. It's one of the toughest market to trade in. It's easy to do it in an easy market. You got to do it in a tough market. And I had an amazing start on that small account challenge. I almost took it to 5K. But because I was positioned wrong, I had to step back. So I'm going to show you something cool here. I'm going to show you sector rotation and how to identify it. Give me a second here. I'm going to pull that site for you guys. You guys can share that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on our screener here. Sorry, not screener. I need to go on groups. So this is what the one-day performance looks like. They're buying technology. They're buying all. So they're basically buying everything. This is what the 1 week looks like. If you guys notice, technology was being sold and energy was being bought a week ago. Today is day 1 of this rotation. So for me, anything to be a rotation, it needs to be there for 3 days. So today is, I would say today's day 2. Yesterday was day 1. And let's see how this goes. I'm starting to think that this was a bear trap that I got myself into. And at 103.62, I'm going to be exiting this position and holding my Tesla calls. Yeah, so drop any questions you have. We're going to go over stuff. So sector rotation, what you want to keep watching is, where's my maps? So here's what they're doing. They're buying technology. Look at how green everything looks. They're buying financial. They're selling consumer defense because we are risk on. We're not risk off anymore, which is why Bitcoin was an early sign that a news was coming. And I don't know if you guys showed up on the Sunday Weekly, but I'm like, one is lying. We'll find out which one it is. And even when I'm positioned against it, I still have to watch it, right? Just because I have a bias doesn't mean anything. This is one of the reasons why most people lose money. That's the whole point of doing this today. So let me try something here. It's going to help you. I'm typing, by the way. I hope people aren't just listening today. Have your screens. So this is micro, this is macro. Always remember that this macro is much bigger than micro. What I mean by that is a lot of times here, you might not want to be making any trades if you're new. And if this and this lines up, you take big trades. And if this micro and macro don't line up, you can go cash, or you can do what I'm doing. You set up stops and then you get out when it's done. So looks like Palantir is heading here. Looks like this is going. This looks beautiful. I think Tesla's going to have a, what do you call it? A gap up tomorrow at this range. I'm going to pull Tesla's chart. And what this looks like, if there is no bad news, this looks like a bigger breakout here. And these are the levels. I think 300 is possible on this. If nothing, you guys see VIX is selling off. Once VIX sells off, we're heading to this level here, 27.83. That's the next demand. Likely the market goes up. So this is the micro and the macro. You need to have that. You need to be very, very objective about this. On top of that, I'm always watching flow, right? So we're going to go over flow now. Let me go on Discord. So let's share the screen now. So we're going to look at Golden Flow. They're buying NVIDIA calls for December. Look, I'm not interested in long-term calls. I'm looking for calls that are coming for now. MSTR, AMD, all far out. I don't care. I need something urgent. So this counts. Microsoft 450, 618. This is beautiful, but it's again 2026. Let's look at option sweep. Flows all over the place today. NVIDIA, okay, I like this. 103.52 for 362. Palantir 1017. This is decent too. I got to take this in account, even though I'm on the different side of the trade. I'm on the opposite side. TLT calls coming in. Another thing I want you guys to watch, I'm going to share my chart again, is I want you to take note of TNX. It's 10-year treasury yield. Notice how it's going up. This is never a good sign. So Feds, Trump, they don't want this going any higher. They want this going lower. It doesn't have an impact right away on the market. So I don't want you to think this is going market's going to dump. It just, the whole point of getting the market to stabilize is so we can get the yield down. Okay, I have comments. Sorry, I didn't notice. I'm gonna go look at it. Okay, so I hope you guys can. Are you guys able to see the chart or no? Let me know. Confirm you guys can see the chart and I'll move on. But this is like one of the ways you stay out of the bias is having if then scenarios. The if situation, if this happens, then I'll do this. It's never, I got into Palantir, I'm gonna make 1,000%. That's not how we do it. We do it if and then. So I always have that going in. And when nothing works, getting up and leaving works. Staying behind the screen, looking at the mistakes you're making for 10 hours or 4 hours or 2 hours, however you do it, doesn't help. Overall, try to stay level headed. And these kind of markets are character building market because these are tough. You could be wrong and you need to be prepared to be wrong. One of the ways, so I was working on a video yesterday on how to stay confident. One of them was to constantly journal and talking about what's working, what's not working, because confidence is built based on understanding the process, not by making money. It's crazy, right? Most people think that confidence gets built by success rate. It's not. It gets built by your trust in the process. If you trust the process, you're going to go with it. If you don't, you won't. So overall, new traders understand, and I would say anyone under 2 years a new trader. I don't want you to think I'm a week in and I'm a new trader. No, if you're under 2 years and you haven't seen losses, haven't seen markets like this, it gets hectic, right? Because there's so much, and the more you learn, you're like, shit, I got to learn this. Simple thing is, your gut's going to tell you a lot of times that you don't know what you're doing in terms of the market condition. Then your mind's going to tell you need to learn it. I'll say you don't need to learn anything. If you don't understand it at that point of time, it's not smart to go learn that. Go learn macro, go learn about how tariffs impact. No, you wait. You take a break. There's nothing that you can do other than wait in this sort of market condition. There are people that are macro traders, been doing this for 50 years. They don't understand tariffs. You're not about to learn about tariffs in 2 days and take a trade. So that's what the scary part is. Like, a lot of us are type A personality. When we don't understand something, the first thing we do is we try learning it. And if we don't, and once we learn it, we try learning more. A lot of this is unlearning. It just following the price. Okay. Like, you look at this level here, one thing you're going to realize, this isn't just taking out bears, it's also taking out late bulls. You're getting chopped up. So this is the gap fill area. This is the second area that it's trying to protect. And the market, apart from Tesla, isn't strong at all. You could short here, you could long here. We are in a place of indecision. But I wanted to be in a piece of something in the market because I feel like a big move overall happens tonight again. That's how the market's been playing. This is Tesla. This is Palantir. Other than that, about roughly $2,000 in, I'm not doing much. But know that the bias is there. I have a bias. You have a bias. The bias can't blow your account up. That's what you have to make sure. Sometimes, most of the time, you know that you're biased and you know, okay, you know what? The flow is saying bullish, but I'm bearish. It's okay. They're wrong. I'm not wrong. That kind of shit happens. A lot of times you're down 50%. You're like, you know what? It's going to pop back. That's the stuff. Those are little things that are blowing your account. It's not so much technical analysis because that's the stuff happens with me. Still happens with me when I don't follow the money. I don't follow price action. And I start thinking about random situations where I'll be back in profit. I don't know if it's happened to you. That's kind of where you start spiraling out and lose money. Now, my goal is to come in live and show you guys this kind of stuff, but it kind of the disadvantage of that is I got to manage my own trade. I got to have a Discord to manage. So I can't spend a lot of time. So if there are no questions, I'm going to move on and end this, but I'll be here for a few minutes. I'm going to give you guys my idea on what I think happens here. So if you have questions, drop them now. So this is what the market is doing. I'm going to give you the easiest thing you need to know. Moving averages, 21-day moving averages here. We cannot close under this. Okay, it's at 5401, 5402, whatever. We can't close under this today. I'm going to turn off the VWAP. This is bearish. Okay, we need to close above it. If you guys notice it, we've only closed above it once, and that was 25th of March. And then the next day we kicked right back in. So today is the day where we need to close above it. If we don't, we have a problem. So that's what I'll be watching for my puts. Draw this for you. Second is Tesla. We can't be closing above. I don't know if Weirpaul's on it. That's my stop, 255.87. We can't close under this. If it does, I'm going to close the position. This is one of those markets where there is no room or margin for error. You need to be quick. Every single time you take a trade, have a predefined loss. This is my predefined loss on this trade. We break this, I'm out. All right, guys, doesn't seem like we have any questions, but I'll repeat it. If you're a new trader, keep your bias away. Check everything we've talked about, and then you move on with your trade. With that, make sure you guys hit subscribe and like. I'm going to be back again tomorrow. We'll probably do some live trades, hopefully. But yeah, that's it for me. Have a great day, and see you later.